Yo guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire for quite possibly the most unoriginal content I've ever made in this channel, because it seems as though every SkyTuber and their grandma has taken a quiz asking you to name every single Skylander and seeing if they can accomplish the task. But naturally, I'm going to put a little bit of a spin on that concept. I'm merely taking it as a template to create something far more original out of it, and the main form of originality is that I have these glorious characters watching over my side because they are from the Fire Element, aka the greatest element that Skylanders has ever offered us and ever will. The next Skylanders game could offer us 10 new elements and not a single one of them will be as glorious as this one watching over me. So that alone has made this video quite glorious. But on top of that, the question, can I name every Skylander, is one that for me personally is easy to answer. Of course I can. I've been a fan since I first got Skylanders by Adventure in Christmas of 2011, and I've been heavily invested in every installation of the franchise since. So when it comes to me having to list every single Skylander's name, I could not really do it in my sleep, but it comes as second nature to me. So the question is no longer can I name every Skylander, but rather the question is how quickly can I do it. So we're taking this template and we are mixing it up and speed running it, in other words, to where the main hindrance for this speed run is going to be how quickly I can type and how many spellings of Skylanders I mess up. Like seriously, I've misspelled Cobra so many times at this point that the spelling has practically became engraved within my mind. But hopefully, in having said that, I haven't jinxed myself, because I really don't want karma to come back and bite me in the ass. But regardless, it's time for me to press the big red record button on my screen recorder, and then of course minimize my face cam as we start the quiz right here with, of course, these magic Skylanders from Spyro's Adventure. And then we move on to the waters. Yeah, there you go, you want Whamshell, and then a Slamabama. Don't ask me where that nickname came from, I just randomly came up with it someday and it's just kind of stuck from there. Either way, you can't forget about Bash and Dino Ring. Next up we have the best element, Flame Slinger is going to be next. Shout out to, of course, just about every single person who loves that character, which is just about anyone and everyone, because he is so awesome, mind you. Either way, we have the next two final Skylanders, and then that's going to be followed up by the Tech Element. I almost typed out Trigger Happy twice then, so my apologies if I don't really talk much this video. This is just what concentrating Ignite looks like. Either way, for final, and then it is Chop Chop, okay, Camo, Zook, Stealth Elf, and Stump Smash. And finally, Lightning Rod. Don't forget the rod part, it's quite important. Either way, Sonic Boom, and then that's all for Spyro's Adventure cast. So moving on to Giants, Crusher. Oops, not Crusher, I've never heard of that before. Then we got, well, a completely wrong spelling for Flashwing right here. There you go, that's more like it. Okay, Sprocket, Bouncer, Bumpback, Chill, Hothead, Hot Dog, and Shroom Boom. There you go, that's more like it. Tree Rex, another fan favourite along the lines of Flame Slinger. You know, it's a good thing I didn't go on ahead and give a shout out to just about anyone and everyone who loves that character, otherwise I'd be here for, you know, a millennia. Either way, that does it for, of course, Giants. Like, words just kind of slipped from my mind right now as I worried more about naming the magic Skylanders from Swap Force. So next up, the Earth Element has Rubble Wowzer, Doomstone, your boy Scorp, as well as Slobbertooth with the H not a G. I've never heard of Slobbertooth or Toothky, however that would be pronounced, mind you. Either way, let's just move straight along to the Undead Element, because that's the first element that randomly came to my mind. Either way. Okay, so next up, Water Element, and we'll go with the Fire Element. If you just go element by element, and that's the easiest way to remember all of these characters, at least for me it is. So, and you want Firecracking, I was about to put Torch then, but that's a completely different game. So you got Frino, of course, Muggle, Smolderdash, you can't possibly forget her and her pun on Boulderdash. Anyway, Magna Charge, Spyrise, Wind Up, and Countdown. That's exactly what is happening with that timer. And to the far right, it's, well, counting down. It's a countdown to when I fail this quiz, but we're never going to get close in terms of the countdown to 0 because my typing skill is just too immense, and hopefully once again that doesn't come back to jinx me, as I completely forgot what element I had left, but then I remembered it's the life element. So we have Zulu, which is a character that not many people like for some reason. I personally was quite surprised by him. You know, I remember getting him and Star Strike on the same day. I was expecting to love Star Strike a whole lot more by comparison, but it turns out that I actually had a preference over Zulu, which I was never expecting. Either way, I spelled that correctly, Copacabra, which I was never expecting, and of course this quiz includes minis, so better bear that in mind, eh? So you want Head Rush, Fist Bump, Rocky Roll, the most memed Skylander it seems, but from there you also got, I don't know why I put Small Fry, because I actually had Bop on my mind, but all of a sudden Small Fry just came to my mind, so let's go with Fire next. Wildfire, Kaboom, Torch of course, and then that's followed by Trailblazer. And then there's also from the water element Snapshot, Lobstar, Echo of course, very easy name to remember, but for Skylander herself not the most memorable unfortunately, at least in my personal opinion. But moving on from there you got Thumpling and Gilrun. However, for the case with Echo, well, she isn't the most memorable. She is a character which I wasn't too fond of at first, but over time I've grown to like her more and more as I itch my nose. You know, itch my nose specifically is a very likable trait for Echo. I don't know how that translates, it just does, because that is what we call Ignite logic for all of you. So next up we want Cryptic King, another huge fan favourite, alongside Shortcut. Then you got that's been one for free-to-play Skylanders, the strongest one of all of them if you were to ask me, not in terms of her name but her design, and her gameplay is so incredibly fun and, you know, underrated in the opinion of yours truly. Anyway, next up we want Gusto, followed by Thunderbolt, followed by Fling Kong, then you want Blades, Petvac and Breeze. Okay, so final element, you got Bushwhack rather than Bushwhacker, Tough Luck, then Fight, High Five, Whisper Elf, and Barkley. Okay, sweet. So Superchargers, Splat, Smash Hit, which I completely forgot the other H within his name. Either way, from there, let's just go Fiesta, Dive, Clop, Spitfire, Hammer, Slam, Bowser, because for some reason guest stars count and I have to spell them all correctly, as you just saw before me. Either way, then you also want yourselves a Stormblade and a High Volt. Oops. And then I completely forgot the Light and Darks from Trap Team, so let's be bringing those guys in, shall we? Astro Blast, Nightfall with an F. Okay, let's see, I believe the only game we have left is Imaginators, so going straight into Water, I suppose. Then we'll go back to Earth with Barbella and Tri-Tip, and then I forgot Golden Queen and Grave Globber, and you also got Mr. Cat, Bookshot, and of course Pain Yada. Okay, so next up we will go with Undead, so Pit Boss, Chopscotch, which I forgot to see, but that was very quickly adjusted, and there's Wolfgang, one of the hardest bosses in Trap Team by miles, more so than Golden Queen if you were to ask me. Anyway, Chain Reaction, Dr. Neo Cortex, yes, I spelled that correctly. Okay, Crash Bandicoot, then Dr. Crankcase, I almost forgot about, alongside Robo. By the way, going back to the life, we got Ambush, Chompy Mange, then there's also Bloom. Okay, so I was about to put Firecracker, but it's Flare Wolf from Imaginators. I suppose them both having fireworks kind of threw me off for a moment there. Either way, then you also want your boy Taekwondo, then Bad Juju, Wild Storm, Airstrike, then Blastatron, Aurora, then finally Starcast, and Hoodsicle to end it off with. Boom! There goes the quiz. Not too bad. We had 12:08 left on time, which means I did the entire quiz in a total of 7 minutes 52 seconds, which for me is not half bad. It's definitely mistakes that were made, so there are small little time improvements I could make here and there, but overall, typing, speaking, and spelling all of those all simultaneously, I don't think I did too bad a job if you were to ask me. And again, of course, I say that personally because I'm one who just conducted said job right in front of all of you on your computer screen, phone screen, you know, TV screen, just whatever screen you're watching this on, regardless of all of that device jazz. Yes, I just said the word jazz because he is like the best Autobot around, but shoving Transformers references aside, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I will be seeing you in another video, and until that moment arises, peace.